Hey guys, my name is Jessie and I am an Emerald coach with Beachbody, and today I want to tell you a little bit about meal planning. This is something that can be really overwhelming for a lot of newcomers, so I just wanted to take some time and kind of break it down for you and show you that it's really not as hard as sometimes we make it out to be. If you're familiar at all with Autumn Calabrese, she is the creator of 21 Day Fix, 21 Day Fix Extreme, co-creator of Masters Hammer and Chisel, and then creator of Country Heat. She also is the creator of the meal plan that pretty much all of our programs now, even past programs, follow, which is the Fixate meal program. You may recognize these containers. They started off just with 21 Day Fix. Yes, I'm missing my orange one. I have no idea where it went. But if you purchased an All Access Pass Challenge Pack or 21 Day Fix, 21 Day Fix Extreme, you're going to have these containers already. So basically what the premise of the containers are, and like I said, most of the programs go to now, is figuring out this magic number that tells you how many of what container you get to eat every day. So basically it's all about portion control. So you get so many veggies, so many fruits, so many servings of protein. You have your carbs, healthy fats, and then the little orange one that we're just going to pretend is here. It's yay size. This is my lid. I could find it, but I couldn't find the actual container. But that's other fats. So you only get a certain amount of all of these every single day. So one thing as Americans that we do is we completely overeat. Our portions are out of control. So basically what it does is it gets those portions back in control for you. So I'm sure you've seen the infomercial. If it fits in the container and you can close the lid, you can eat it. So that is what a lot of our programs follow now. I started off with 21 Day Fix. I think it's great for most beginners and people just getting used to it, especially if eating is a huge problem of yours, just because it shows you that you can still eat those foods that you like if you eat them clean, non-processed, and just do the right portions. Anyway, though, there are some programs that shift a little bit away from this basic system that I'm going to show you. So make sure that whatever program you're following, you read the meal plan and the nutrition guide to see what their actual rules are, because there are a little bit of variances in some of them. For instance, 22-minute hardcore, they decide what meal plan you go on based on, they have like a point system of like, you get 1 point if you're a male, no points if you're female, 1 or 2 if you're active, something along those lines. Now, once you get down to the nitty gritty and it tells you what category you fall into, it's all still based on these containers. So basically just make sure to refer to your nutrition guide first and see how yours exactly works. The majority of the ones that are the most popular though, or at least that I have done and most of the women in my challenge groups do, all kind of go by the same thing. PiYo's a little bit different because they call the category something a little bit different, but I'm going to do a special video for PiYo. So yeah, anyway. So this is slightly ghetto because I did it on my kitchen calendar, but I made this handy dandy thing. So like I said, it's going to vary a little bit depending on your programs, but basically, this is how you figure out what your calorie level is. Now, if you're not doing a Beachbody program, but you're drinking shakes, maybe you're running or training for a marathon or something like that, you can still kind of use this same nutrition guide in what you're doing. You just know it'll just give you a calorie target for the day, and so you can count calories. Personally, I ain't got time for that. I'd rather count containers than count calories. So I love this. Anyway, basically, what your program guide is going to tell you, so you'll get like an eating plan for whichever one you do. If you have the All Access Pass, you still have the meal plans and all of that kind of stuff for all the programs. You just have it in PDF format and you can just print it, and it's the exact same thing. So take your program. It's going to tell you basically the math to figure it out. So for 21 Day Fix, 21 Day Fix Extreme, and Country Heat, you're going to take your weight. So right there, 175 is mine right now, which is very frustrating because it was lower, but muscle weighs more than fat, right? All right, so you multiply it times 11. Now I have 2 stars right there just because 21 Day Fix Extreme tells you, like, depending on your, I think it's your exercise level, you can either do it times 11, times 12, times 13, because obviously somebody who sits at their desk all day is going to need, less calories because they're not going to be burning as many as somebody who maybe is a basketball coach or something like that. So that's the variance there. But when you multiply that, what you get is your caloric baseline. So that is basically the baseline of where you need to be constantly. Well, now you take that and you add 400, and I put a star there because, which one is it? I think it's Country Heat. It says 300 instead of 400, but basically this is supposed to be the amount of calories that you're going to burn doing these exercises. So then you get your needs. So you need this much because you're going to burn this much to be able to make sure you're getting this much, basically. The next thing you do is you take your needs and you subtract whatever amount it tells you. Like I said, a lot of the programs are different. 21 Day Fix, Fix Extreme, Country Heat, they all say 750. PiYo is like 600. So whatever it's telling you to subtract, you subtract that here, and you will get your caloric target. So in all of the programs, once you figure out your target, like I said, a lot of them are different in the ways they want you to figure it out and blah, blah, blah. But once you figure that out, there is going to be a chart within your book that tells you, depending on where you fall in, how many of X, Y, and Z you need. For instance, for PiYo, so it has your little plan right there and tells you to do the math and blah, blah, blah. And then it says, hey, here are 4 plans, A, B, C, and D. And depending on where you fall, which with PiYo, mine was less, so I think it was like 17 something. So on that one, I fell plan C. So I would get 6 servings of primary vegetables, 2 servings of secondary vegetables and grains, 3 fresh fruit, 6 lean protein, and 4 healthy fat. This is the one I'm doing right now, which I love because I get all this extra protein, which means I can drink like whole milk, and it's awesome because dairy is like my favorite. But yeah, so they do it a little bit different. With 21 Day Fix, it's the same thing. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing with all of them. Whatever you end up getting, it's going to tell you, if you can see that, how many of whatever containers you get based on the calories that you fall into. So that's all of the technical stuff. Here's the part that most people make way too complicated, and I want to help you make really, really easy. Figuring out your meal plan for the week. Now, if you're one of those people who can't eat the same thing every single day, that is perfectly fine. You can mix and match and do whatever. I'm really simple because I'm like the pickiest person on the planet. Before Beachbody, I didn't even eat vegetables. And I still don't like them. I had them in my food and puree them like you would do for your kids. But that's another story. But I'm really simple. So I can eat the same thing every single day and it not bother me. Like I said, if you're not like that, that is completely fine. You can tweak this to where it'll work for you. And of course, lost my pen. Here we go. But basically what I do is I take the containers and I took my highlighters and did my little polka dots to represent how many of each thing I get. So right now, if I was doing 21 Day Fix, I would get 4 vegetable servings. That is 3, it's supposed to be purple, fruits, protein, carbs, healthy fat, just straight up fat, and then I didn't have a silver to do my spoon, so I just did those in pink. But this is what I have to get rid of. And then I have my shake, because I do mine in the morning. Wherever you do yours, just throw it in there, whatever, or wherever. So my shake, my morning snack, my lunch, my afternoon snack, dinner, and then I do a late night snack. So I got to figure out what I'm doing on all these. Like I said, I didn't really realize that this was so like easy and simple until I had a girlfriend of mine that was doing a challenge group for the first time, and she was over and we were having like meal prep day, and I pulled out my piece of paper and started doing it, and she was like, oh, that's a really good idea of how to figure it out. It makes sense to me. So apparently I was told I needed to share. Now my go-to for my shake, I really like the vanilla because I like to let my daughter have some of my shake because she eats about the same that I do. So she likes it with some banana and some spinach. She calls it banana vanilla. So my base recipe for my shake that I always start off with is I know I'm going to put some amount of spinach in there. So I'm just going to write spinach. And I know that that is going to count as a green. So I'm going to take my little green dot and just put a dot beside spinach. See that? And so I'm also going to cross out one of my greens at the top because I know I've taken care of one of my greens. I'm then going to do like 8 ounces of almond milk, which that counts as half of a yellow. So I'll do like a little half moon shape, and I keep up with my yellows, y'all. You will too if you haven't done this before. You want to get every bit of those yellows that you can. So then we'll do like a half line through that. My actual scoop of Shakeology counts as one little red. So I'm going to mark through my red. And then I always do a whole banana because, like I said, I don't really like fruit. And one large banana is 2 fruit servings. So I know that I'm going to use at least 2 fruit servings. B-A-N-A-N. Does anybody else ever, since like Gwen Stefani song, always, like when you're spelling out banana, sing the B-A-N-A-N-A-S? I don't know. I always do anyway. So I'm going to put 2 dots out beside my bananas and mark 2 of those out. So now my morning snack, I usually always do 2 boiled eggs. And 2 boiled eggs equals 1 red. So there goes another red. Lunch. A lot of times I'll either do brown rice or I will do fish. So that would be a whole yellow. And then a protein. Like I said, if you like veggies and all that, some people would throw a veggie there. Anyway, you just keep going until basically you get the whole thing filled out. And once you have it filled out and you see what you have left, then you can see what you need to add to it. Okay, so I went ahead and filled mine out, and I've gotten to the end, and I have like a spoon and a half left. So that just means I'm going to add like some extra olive oil or coconut oil to my like rice or couscous or whatever. And I have 1 fruit, and I have half of a yellow. Well, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to turn that yellow into half of a glass of wine, and then I'll end up putting more bananas in my shake because I just don't like fruits. But that being done, I have figured out my meal plan for the entire week. I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm eating, and I've gone and done it pretty easily. So like I said, it can get a little bit more complicated. You can switch stuff up, but to me, if you just kind of lay it out like this, it's a lot easier.